Welcome to Kick Him in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews from some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yao. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and getting insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth. Welcome to the Kick from the Head podcast. And as always, I have an absolutely jam-packed MMA episode for you. Today, I'm speaking with Ayanda the Power Zwane. Now, we all know Ayanda. We've spoken to Ayanda before. Ayanda fighting out of Cape Town, trains with Luke Michael down in Cape Town, was recently fighting in the EFC Featherweight Grand Prix. We're about to talk to him because he has a fight coming up, a very interesting fight, one that I think shows us that the EFC's featherweight division is not as shallow as we thought it was during the Grand Prix. It has gained in depth. There's suddenly quite a few featherweight fighters in the division, decent ones. So we're speaking to Ayanda to find out about his next fight and how he feels about the upcoming EFC 118 fight against Roedie Roets. Ayanda, welcome to the Kick Him in the Head podcast. As always, how are you doing tonight?
Good, thanks, and yourself.
Fantastic. Now, let's start with, obviously, the February Grand Prix. We haven't spoken since then. That didn't go your way. You obviously lost out to the Hawk, Simbarasha Hokonya. Coming back from that now to face Roedie Roets, which is the fight we're about to primarily go into. How's your journey been from that to this point?
It's been great, hey. Like you said, the Grand Prix didn't go my way. I lost again to Simba, the only guy I've ever lost to in my combat sports, both in boxing and MMA. So it stings me a lot. But anyways, look, I've been great. I've been training, I've been pushing. Got a huge fight on my hands coming up at EFC 118 next month, 10th of October. It's gonna be epic, man. Looking forward to step foot back in there again. It's been a minute.
So I think let's talk specifically about that fight. Now, we know Relentless Roedie Roets. He has come back from the Ultimate Fighter that he was on recently. He was being coached by Valentina Shevchenko. So now he not only has international experience, but he's got coaching experience at the highest level. Now, as much as we saw some of the clips of how Valentina coaches, and we don't know if that really works with Roedie's style, the fact is he's gotten to that level, he's gone to that level, and now he's come back to the EFC, to the featherweight division, which is the division of which Smiley Igakabesa is the champion, which is his teammate. So it's very interesting to be within that entire mix. But how are you feeling about this fight? What are you thinking about this being the fight that's going to say, listen, who's next for the title?
Look, it's a big fight. I know it's a huge fight on my hands. Like you said, Roedie's from the UFC Contender Series. So he's trained and fought against top level guys, And for me, I don't buckle under pressure, man. I love these kind of fights. I love these kind of experiences, For him to be back, it's a fight that I've always wanted to have before I even started the EFC, before I even had a pro fight. I was like, one day if I get into the EFC, that's the one guy I like to fight before I fight Kabesa, actually. So to see how things are playing together, coming along together, it's great, man. Roedie is not a joke. It's not a walk in the park. It's gonna be a fight, absolutely. And I'm honestly looking forward to that fight. I think I can say that his name, his head, means to me more than the title fight. Having his head on my resume means more than having that title. So, look, I have nothing to lose coming to this fight. I'm that guy that will always show up. Doesn't matter the opponent, I'll show up and put on a fight. So I have nothing to lose and have every single thing to gain. How do you stop a guy that has nothing to lose and everything to gain? Let's go, man.
He's unstoppable. Let's get it. Let's go. And it's very interesting that he's one of the fighters that you've looked at through your EFC career because we know how wrestling heavy their camp is. We know how wrestling heavy Iga Cabeza, Roedie Roets are in terms of their style. Why would you pick that as the style that you want to challenge? Is that because that's an area you feel you need to prove yourself, or an area that you feel that you're dominant? Why that style?
Look, like you said, Roedie, Cabeza, they have one of the strongest wrestling backgrounds ever. They top level guys when it comes to wrestling. I give them that. I've one of the best coaches when it comes to wrestling. Attila Plena is no stranger into the MMA world. I feel, look, I've been in there with the records. Steven is a great grappler. Steven Gonzalez, who I faced, great grappler. He couldn't really finish me. He never finished me. Simba as well. And I know he's been putting a lot of wrestling happening, a lot of groundwork. He was successful taking me down, but they couldn't do anything. I think almost all my fights, guys have been able to take me down, yes, but they've never been able to do anything with it. End of the day, Roedie is one of the great wrestlers there is, but this is an MMA fight. It takes one shot, and I've got the hands. Can you take me down? We'll see. Can you finish me? Absolutely not. Like I said, this is an MMA fight. It's not a wrestling fight. I'm coming there to fight. I'm not coming there to wrestle the guy. Can I take him down? We'll wait and see. Can I knock his lights out? Let's wait and see. But most definitely, can I be victorious? Absolutely. 100%. Let's get it.
I think for me, from a matchmaking perspective, it's a very tantalizing fight. Now, I think you've got one TKO win in your record, and the rest are by decision. So when you have wrestling heavy, a wrestling dominant fighter, well, look, let me not speak for Roedie. Okay, I don't know what he's going to bring to the table. So, Roedie, I'm not speaking for you. It's an assumption at this point. But from a wrestling heavy camp, it is normally fights, especially if you have a fighter like yourself who can't be finished or who is generally not finished, who goes the distance. It's always those fights where, yes, you are in with a definite chance of a spectacular victory because no one's expecting it. To be frank, it's always going to go the distance. The wrestler's are going to grind you. But you've been training with Luke Michael, and we know Luke Michael's wrestling. We know he will take you down. He will mold you. We saw what he did against Jaco du Plessis. So obviously, if you're training with him, you know how to defend getting taken down and mold. So I think that's a very, very interesting fight. I think from the matchmaking perspective, that's a very, very good way, I guess, to have Roedie back and to put you back in the title picture. So kudos to the matchmakers. Following this fight, how do you see the featherweight picture? Do you think that this leads to a title fight for you? Do you think it leads to a title fight for Roedie? I'm not going to say who wins, but assuming one of you wins. Do you think Iga relinquishes the title and is straight into a title shot? Or what do you think is going to happen with the featherweight division going forward?
I honestly think Cabeza leaves the title. I'm not putting it aside. I think after I win, I don't think there's. Look, I'd love to fight him. It'd be great to step in there with one of the guys that are considered a GOAT. So I'll learn a lot from that fight. I always take every fight, into the good books, man. To step foot in there with Cabeza, even stepping foot in there with Roedie means a lot. It speaks volumes. So I give them utmost respect. I respect these guys. These guys have done so much for themselves, for the MMA world. And for me to be stepping foot in there speaks volume, and it's an honor to be stepping foot in there with either of them. So I would love for Cabeza to defend, so we can unify the titles. But at the back of my head, there is something that's telling me that he's not going to step foot in there yet. I think this December fight might be his last fight at the EFC, maybe. But you never know. You never know how these things go. You never know what's happening behind closed doors. But look, whether he stays, that'd be great. But as much as I want to fight him, I want to see him on the bigger stage as well. So if he does go, it'd be an awesome thing to see him fighting guys at his level or a much bigger level out there. So look, if he stays where he goes or stays, it's awesome, man. It's great. He's doing great for himself. So yeah.
I think you said something preemptive. If I think about it, there's very little chance that Roedie would go up against. It's not going to happen against Iga. And Iga had previously said that September was the month where he would find everything out and he'd have a way forward with regards to the issue that he's been having. So the fact that they've now matched you against Roedie and Iga has, well, and it's September, I think you're right. He might be in his last fight at lightweight again in December. I mean, it's all the way in December. It's the end of the year. There's not going to be any other fights. And he had said he wanted to be more active. But I think you're right. He relinquishes the featherweight title, goes and defends the lightweight strap, and then rides off into the international scene. Or at least that's what we all hope, I suppose, right?
Definitely.
So, Ayanda, you've been on the show before, but today we
Fighter quiz.
a couple of questions for you, Mr. Zwane. Ayanda, first question. If you could fight any celebrity, who would it be?
Ooh, Casper in your vest. Casper in your vest. It's funny because I was sent him a DM. I was like, because he was doing that celebrity boxing fight back then. So I was like, yo, let's fight, bro. Let's put on the show for the people. We're excited. But yeah, you know, Casper never gets back to people. So he left me in the DMs. But it is what it is. But Casper, because I'm an AKA fan.
You raised the bar. Okay, so interestingly enough, I think you're the second person to say Casper. So I think we need to definitely get our MMA feelers into Casper to see if he's looking to do anything MMA, because I mean, he's shown his prowess and his skill in boxing. Why not bring it across to the MMA side? But who knows? We will see. That's a very interesting fight. I see that one happening. But are you guys in the same weight class though?
Nah, he's heavy, that guy.
Yeah. He's a big man.
I can fight him in the boxing. He can keep his weight. I keep my weight. Let's go box. I'll kick him there.
Let's see what happens. The next question. Which historical figure would you like to fight? So if you could bring back anyone from history, it could be recent history, it could be ancient history. Who would you like to bring back and fight?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's a lot of names spinning in my head right now. I'd say, I don't know if Rampage is in the history books, but he's the old Rampage was the guy. You know, he was crazy in the head, but he was the guy, you know. Oh, even Mike Tyson, man. That would be a great fight.
Although Mike Tyson doesn't count as a historical figure anymore because he's about to fight Jake Paul. So he's right back into being a current fighter. So I'm not sure if Iron Mike, the GOAT, counts.
Yeah, he's right back. Crazy fighter.
Once a fighter, always a fighter. I think that kind of brings me to my next question. With the current EFC, UFC, and let's say boxing, lineups, matchups, rosters, what fights are you looking forward to seeing?
Ooh. You know, I'd like to see Cameron Salmon back into things. I would like to, one fight I think will definitely make it and make history if UFC comes to SA when they come. If you can have Cameron Salmon involved, he's a bantamweight last I checked. I don't know if he's changed his weight, but
he's still bantamweight.
Perfect. Bantamweight, Cameron Salmon versus Go to the Future bantamweight at the UFC stage. That would be amazing for SA. That would be amazing for Africa. That would be a killer matchup. That will have that as a co-main event. With Dricus main event, that fight card, with those two co-main eventing it. I mean, what? That's a fight, man. You know. But one fight I hope to see before I die, man, God forbid, is go see the future of this show, no man. One day, that striking fight, that stand-up fight will be out of this roof. Um, one day, one day. I know my boy goes to the future is making waves. Shout out to my bro. He's UFC soon, guaranteed.
No, that's for sure. Look, if we look at his trilogy fight with Jose Shorty Torres, Jose Shorty Torres is no slouch. Jose Shorty Torres, I think that's only his second loss, maximum his third loss, I think, out of 24 wins. He trains with Lazy Boy, who we just saw doing some amazing things on the EFC stage. So you are 100% right. Nkosi is primed to just be a great. And look, I'm not sure about him, Sean O'Malley necessarily, but I would love to see him anyone top 10, top 5 UFC. And I think that's something that can definitely happen. And Cameron Simon, Nkosi, oh my goodness, dude. I just blow my mind. That's an amazing fight. That's an amazing fight.
That'll be a crazy fight, man. It was an honor. That'll be an honor fight, man.
Whew. Whew. So, Ayanda, we have come to the end of this interview. Thank you so much for the time. Now, obviously, you have your fight coming up against Roedie Roets. What words do you have for your opponent? What words do you have for Roedie Roets ahead of this fight?
Yo, Rudy, I hope you're training hard. I know you're training hard. Let's give them a show on the 10th of October, man. Let's show them how main eventers actually do this. Try to be main eventing with you. Just come to fight, man. Come prepared for a fight. I hope you're not underestimating me, but if you are, it is what it is, man. I'm used to that. But I'm looking forward to stepping there with you, going toe to toe, fist for fist, pump for pump. Trust me, I'm bringing the best version of myself. Let's get this. It's my time. Best believe it. And then you, baby. Let's go. Let's get it.
That is exciting. So exciting. I'm looking forward to that fight. I'm looking forward to EFC 118. As always, it's going to be just, the fight nights are great. Look, the last one, 117, I'm not sure if you were there. Were you there at 117?
I was there.
The prelims, then the main card was like, yeah! I think that's the EFC. It's like, it's always, some fights aren't the best, but the card normally represents. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you on the next card at EFC.
Hey, if the power's on the card, man, it's fire. It has to be a fire if the power's on the card. We bring that spice, we bring that energy. It is what it is. The power is on the card. Doesn't matter which year, which day. It could be a Sunday evening. If the power's on the card, it's fire. You know how we do it.
That's right. 100%. Thank you so much, Ayanda. Good luck in your camp. I hope it's going well. I'm sure it's going well. I'm looking forward to seeing the fight in October, 10th of October. It's going to be great. Till next time, everyone listening, don't forget to follow at HeckKickPod on all platforms. Ayanda, can you please share your social media handles so that people can know where to find you, wherever they need to find you, when they need to find you?
Ayanda the Power, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. Ayanda the Power Zwane. Ayanda the Power Zwane on all social media platforms. As always.
As always, everyone, like, comment, subscribe. Kick him in the head! You know how we do. And we are out. Salute.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Ayanda the Power here, future champion soon. You're watching Kick Him in the Head. Let's go.